Hello and welcome to this Warno 2v2 game played on this new map, the name of which I've completely forgotten, but it'll be in the description if I can remember. And today we've got Sparty playing as the new 6E Division Blindy, or Leggery Blindy, and Icarus playing as the 9th US Motorized Division, going up against Sneaky playing as the 4th East German Moschutzen Division, and this is Schondra Schondra, who has renamed himself to Icarus Fan Club to celebrate the return of Icarus. And he's playing as Rugener. So we'll go through the deck reviews, bit of a different one because it's a 2v2, so I'm talking more about synergy and don't bring too many CVs and stuff like that. Then we'll talk about the map, the matchup, the deployments, and the game, and as always, timestamps in the description. Right, so this is the deck review for the game, as it is a 2v2. We're not going to spend a huge amount of time talking about what's in every single deck. More of like an overview of the decks. The map they're playing on is one of the new ones, as you saw, and that map lends itself a lot to more close quarters fighting, which in my opinion does help the T55 and T72 divisions. So I think 4th Moschutzen and Rugener are actually pretty good picks on this map. There are better picks. You could pick 20th Polish, you could pick any of the Czech divisions. But I think both of these divs are decent on this map. I mean, I've not seen the game yet, but just from the map and the way that most of the fights tend to be like close range tank engagements or super long range, like, you know, in the middle between the four zones and the spawns, there's like a long gap there, and that's where something like the 2,800 meter range ATGMs would come in handy. Going into them is are Icarus and Sparty, and they've picked 9th US and 6E, which I'm not sure are good picks. NATO in general struggles a lot with close range, high armor tanks. The only div that gets them is Britain, basically, with the chieftains. Everybody else, I mean, you know, you can use an M1A1 in close range, but it's not cost efficient, and the chieftains aren't particularly cost efficient either. So PACT definitely has NATO beat on these close range tanks, and in general on these new maps, PACT seems to have an advantage as a result of that. And both of these divs fulfill similar roles, which is a light div, right? So you could argue the M60s are decent sort of close range tanks, not as good as the T55s for the role because they're more about the long range. But they're not so bad at it. But yeah, both of these divs are kind of scrappy, light, motorized divs, so that it's not a good draft, basically. I think this was just a friendly game. I'm not sure how friendly it was given the drama of everybody involved, but in general, you know, it was a quote unquote friendly, so not part of a tournament or anything. So, yeah, the divs don't really complement each other on Blue 4. What I will say is that, you know, you can get the MLRS cluster as 9th US, and in 1v1 that would be a bad idea, but in team it makes a lot of sense. You've got 5 CVs for Icarus and 4 for Sparty, so that's good. Like in 2v2s, 2 CV cards each. Oh no, there's actually 6 here. But either way, you know, not a huge amount of CVs. So I think that's reasonable to bring reduced CVs in a team game because there's just not, you know, not as many zones, not as many opportunities for your CVs to get sniped. For red, we've got 3, 4, 5. So 5 for Sneaky, and then 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 for Schondra Schondra. So I think this is just his 1v1 deck. He's one of the few people that plays Rugener, and he plays it really well. And yeah, Rugener not so bad on this map because you get the T55As nice in close range. You get lots of infantry to fight around those forests. That's generally where most of the combat seems to happen. You get the coffin launchers. And you do get long range abilities with the ATGMs, right? Quite a few ATGMs, packed ATGMs. Are generally, like the TOE 2 is really good. It's just super expensive and not very available. And yeah, I mean, I just don't want to go through like every single unit for every single deck. It doesn't make any sense to do so. So this is more of an overview. You can see the decks involved. So Sneaky with 2 cards of supply. Swanjel's gone to with 3 cards of supply. So they can keep it going. Honestly, I think like no MLRS for red is really weird. Like this is just a 1v1 deck. So he should have brought a 3rd card of supply and MLRS in exchange for like a couple of these planes, or maybe one of these ATGM units, or even this CV because you've got so many CVs on the team. So yeah, no RM70 is kind of rough. Can't remember if Rugana gets those. It doesn't, so it would have to be Sneaky. So yeah, no RM70 is a bit rough, and I think Icarus has made the right call here, bringing in the MLRS cluster because yeah, in team games they're useful. And he's got the drones. Not much to say about 6E really. The whole idea is you wheel about and be annoying, but in a team game that's less useful than in 1v1, where the enemy's flank should be very unprotected. Having said that, this map does have these massive forests on the sides, which lends itself to this kind of gameplay, so hopefully we see that, so let's get on with the game. Right, so with that out of the way, let's talk about the map. So the map is more or less symmetrical. It's not perfectly symmetrical, so like there's a break in this forest and there's, this one isn't on the road. But in general, it's kind of symmetrical. I think the symmetrical maps are not a bad idea. Like, I do like these maps. I think they're a lot of fun. I've played this map on 1v1. I think it's fine on 1v1. Yeah, generally people tend to fight around like Chariton Gregory and Boris Anna. Usually there's not, in the games I've played, usually somebody takes this at the start and then the rest of the fight is like Gregory Chariton or Boris Anna, depending on who gets the forward deployment and so on. Hopefully we see something different this time. Like I've only played on the map 3 times. But yeah, in general, blue get these zones and red get these zones, and then you fight for the rest. But what tends to happen is somebody manages to, because if you've got good forward deployment, basically you want to get to the enemy's forest, and then you can start messing them up. So if red gets to this one, right, and they manage to protect all this and take this, they can threaten Boris and they can threaten Anna by fighting around this area with their infantry. And it's the same story for blue. So if blue take this forest, then they can try for over here, attack over here, and pressure Gregory. So it tends to be fought that way. Um, I'm wondering if this is like the 2v2 cut of the map instead. Seems a little bit different to what I remember. Um, yeah, that's weird. Like, wasn't there a zone here? Yeah, this is a 2v2 cut, not the 1v1 cut. In the 1v1 cut, there's a zone here, a zone here, a zone here, and a zone here. Um, so yeah, it's a little different. But generally, well, yeah, that might lead to some completely different playing. You see, there's lots of pings going out, right? In terms of the matchups, as I spoke about in the deck review, I think red has the far superior draft. In general, these newer maps with these kind of shorter sight ranges tend to favor PACT because T55s and T72s dominate in these close range engagements compared to like the Leopard 1s of NATO and yeah, sort of the Leopards of NATO tend to prefer longer engagements where they have a longer range gun than the T55s, apart from one of them, and the T72s, apart from one of them, and they just kind of reverse. Whereas here, the pack tanks basically have worse guns but better armor as a general rule for the equivalent price. And so at closer ranges, the better armor matters, and the gun is neither here nor there because it scales with distance. You're basically both gonna two-shot each other, so it doesn't matter. And it's better to have the armor. Well, okay, because you'll probably two-shot the NATO tank, and he'll probably like three-shot you, basically. Anyway, let's talk about the deployments. So it seems that we've got Icarus on the left and Sparty on the right for NATO. So Sparty played 6E, And he's gonna, I suppose we should go left to right. So Icarus is, he's sending some fault, which is GSR 2-man squad. I'd never bring these guys, don't think they're worth it. This does go super fast though. I think the snipers are much more worth it. He brings those as well. So fault to there. And then yeah, sniper up to mid-ish. That sniper could make it to here first, I believe, but maybe I'm wrong in that belief, given that this is the 2v2 cut of the map. Certain things are different. Maybe it's messing me up. Another fault. So it's just a ground surveillance radar, but it's only 2 guys, so it's cheap, but I feel like it's just a waste of a card. And then, yeah, 4 stingers. 2 light rifle laws with ATG with grenade launchers, 3 mortars, presumably so we could smoke all this up, and you know, Cook V 2,800 meter range ATGM. So like 9th is pretty good on this map because you could use the long range ATGMs. If you get your infantry into the forest, they're a pain. M60s are also decent close range tanks. Basically, NATO's best close range tanks would be M60s and Chieftains and the Centurions, but that's, you know, kind of a rare thing. Anyway, Cook V here, so we can see all the way down there, and then 4 M60s. They've been brought up 1 vet, and one of them's a CV, so it's upping him to 2 vets, so he wants a nice big armoured push into Gregory. His teammate on 6E is going for more of a defensive position, and, as we assumed, is going to try and use these forests to sneak around. So that's good news for 6E. That's what 6E wants to be doing. It wants to be constantly sneaking around. In the 1v1, this would be a great map for 6E because there's so much space to maneuver. In a 2v2, I don't think it's that good a pick. Because your tanks don't have any armor. Your infantry's nice, but your tanks don't have any armor, so it's kind of hard to fight like a static lane. You know, if you're just playing like up and down this area, you're just going to lose, in my opinion. So 3 craps. Or 4 craps, but one's going over here, and then we got one to here, here, and here. So all defensive. 3 Milan Jeeps, just covering the various approaches. 3 Gazelle Celtic AA helos, with a minstrel on them. 1 Tarask Spag Jeep, sorry, it's like a truck with a AA gun on it. This is a truck with a minstrel manpad on it. And then 4 AMX-10 RCs, 2 of the Legion variant and 2 of the regular variant. So they should be decent, you know, because of the stealth in the forest and stuff. And yeah, you sneak in 1 around. Generally, you'd want to bring an AA piece with that, and you'd want to get it all the way around and be a total pain in the neck. And a CV tank for Anna, and then presumably Boris. Switching to their opponent's deployment, we've got Swan Jealous Gunter here on the left with his Rugener, one of the few high-level players to consistently play off-meta decks. I got a lot of respect for him, but basically he complains a lot about his decks being worse, which, you know, would happens to the best of us, but he does make a choice to pick these kind of not great decks. So just trying to get rid of all of Sneaky's units there. NLA stands for Nate Liberation Army, if you're wondering. Doesn't really. It stands for Never Lose Again. But anyway, so yeah, I don't know if maybe Sneaky's giving him some units there. Actually, yeah, he is. So, okay, so for the left, you've got a massive spam of T55s and T72s and Shilkers and stuff. So there's clearly an aim here to take Boris. And for the right, you've got just more defensive units. Couple Strellas, couple Unspeakables, couple Fallschirmjägers, and forward deployed CV for Fedor, and then presumably the other ones. No CV on the left, so only 1 CV between them. So let's cast the game and see what happens. Right, so they're off, and it's time for me to thank the generous channel joiners, generously joining the channel. They get the names on the screen, they get the videos early, they get members-exclusive videos at a rate of 1 a week, so there's about 70 of those now. And at the highest tier, they get their games cast at a rate of 1 per calendar month. It can be any, you know, 1v1, 2v2, up to 4v4. I've had people send me Wargame Red Dragon games to cast. You can send me Steel Division 2 games if you want. If Broken Arrow had a replay, I'd let you send me those. I'll even do stuff like Age of Empires. If I own the game, I'm willing to cast it. Just keep in mind that obviously I'm the world #1 player. Everything I play, but I'm currently the rank 1 Warno player, and I'm not able to give the same kind of strategic insight, especially like those Red Dragon casts. I'm just like, now this happens, because I don't really know what's going on. Anyway, so Swordjella Scunter just not paying attention there. Definitely could have sent his helos back, but instead he just ran into the AA stuff and just lost both his recon helos. So that didn't have to happen, because I believe those were really good helos with rockets on them. They might not have been the rocket ones, but I think they were the rocket ones. So those are really good helos and not what you want to lose. Like these are half the price. They've already paid for themselves. We do see the early limb out for Swordjella Scunter here. Unfortunately, in 2v2s, we are going to miss things, but there you go. Race Car takes out some of these forward deployed units, so he loses the KSK and the Conkers. In the meantime, Sneaky's managed to secure the right. It wasn't really contested, but yeah, losing a lot of units dying here for Red. Gazelle Celtic goes down. This limb basically is an 80-point rocket plane, but it's only got 6 HP, so like a Chaparral would kill it in one hit. Unfortunately, Icarus has just gone for 4 Stingers rather than a bit more of a long-range AA setup, which in a team game I think makes a lot of sense. This is the 50 cal Mom get the camera, and if that hits, this is dead, and down it goes. So he loses a Conkers in the transport. Lots of I know, and they lose some. Another truck there. Lots of units dying in the transports. On account of Red's more aggressive posture. Like Icarus is mainly on the defense here. The M60s are coming around. About to run into the T-55 blob. But yeah, Sneaky and Icarus, they've made it up to the, to the edge of Boris here. The Crap takes out a tank. The Race Car went down to the tank. So this is Swordjella Scunter's tank blob, and this is Sneaky's tank blob. At these close ranges, the T-55s will trade favorably into the M60s. Like, the M60 is better, but, like, this one is 40 points less. So, yeah, you'll see that. I think Red will win this little tank fight. Like, there you go. So, one tank's already down for Blue, and Red hasn't lost one yet. Red loses one now. These two both missed, which is bad news, isn't it? And now they have to pull back. If they hadn't both missed there, I think it would have gone a bit differently. Shilka's probably going to bite it here. Not sure what that's doing. That other Shilka died. 2 Shilkas dead there. But you see the T-55s from Swordjella Scunter managed to come around. The AMX-10 RCs here, it does have terrible stabilizers, but it does outrange these. So if he just gets out of range there, he'll be alright. Oh, that could have killed that there. It was just in range. Pops the smoke in the wrong direction. But these tanks have 1 HP each. Stinger might get a bead on that limb there. 2v2 is always very exciting. Blue winning right now because Red hasn't bought the CV yet. And you see these limbs, they're like 5 per card, but they die super easy. Although if 4 Stingers all miss this 0% ECM plane, it's quite surprising. You would expect 2 hits there. And that probably should have died. But yeah, they're 5 per card, and this is kind of how Ruger's played. You just sort of buy all the limbs at the start and hope you can kill stuff. But if your enemy has like an Eyehawk, you're just going to lose them all straight away. There you go. Stingers finally do their job there. Take down one of the limbs. T-55 dies over here, probably because of this race car shooting it. He needs to get some heals up because he won't be able to see this. It might have been this race car. Yes, it was because it's been pinged, presumably. And yeah, so the rocket plane sent over. Eagle against MLs. You would expect the Eagle to win a 1v1, but this was a 3 or 4v1 there, so the Eagle does lose. And the MiG-29 is going deep now. You'll notice he's sending the MiG-21 ahead, just because if that dies, it's no big E. So he sends this over to bait out the AA. AA's been spotted now. This is a very high-level 2v2 game. All of these guys are top-ranked players. Or at least top players. I mean, Icarus hasn't been playing recently, so I don't think his rank is very high. But he has won a lot of tournaments, which he's now banned from, so I'm not sure what's going to happen with that in the future. Gazelle Hot gets a kill on the T-55A there. Keep in mind this doesn't have smoke. More M60s purchased. But overall, you would say basically slight advantage. Well, advantage red because they're actually in this zone, but they've taken heavy losses from it. Icarus hasn't lost that many units. AT plane coming out here. This is the wrong one. It's the one with the rockets on it. You want the one without the rockets on it because this one flies too low to be able to fire its missile from max range. So Logi moving here from Icarus, talking to Sparty there. I don't know if they're in the same chat. You would assume not. But basically, the idea is that you can throw these from very far away, but if you get the one with the rockets, you can't, which is why the one without the rockets is better, because you don't really need the rockets. The whole point of this is that it's got really low accuracy, but you can shoot it from ages away, but you cannot do it if it's flying so low. As you saw, it's only firing when it gets super close to it, because of the line of sight blockers and stuff like that. Limbs back in the game. You'd think they'd start going after these stingers aren't moving, right? And so you just like they're just constantly shooting ping, 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 arty, 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 arty. You'd assume after you kill the first one, the second one's gonna move. Gazelle Hawk goes down to Strella's there. MiG-21 takes out the Aquila drone. More manpad misses here. Sparty has managed to get guys over on the far left here. Which is good, but you know he needs to like actually attack this. But he's got problems in his front line, right? So the legions, the regular AMX-10 Legion tanks, don't have the mediocre stealth, which means I frankly think they're overpriced for what they provide. The gun's very nice on the Sublinde one. That's what SB stands for, but they're not actually that fast. So it's 65 kilometers an hour, and you look at like. T-55 is a bad example, but if you look at, in fact all the tanks here are kind of bad examples. The AMX-30B2, which weighs more and is treaded, is actually faster than the wheeled tanks, so it's not ideal. So, Red bringing up the CV now. He's got to be careful though, so what Sparty needs here is like a recon gun, basically, so a recon AMX-10RC. Strella's on the front lines, getting hit. You'll notice these medium tanks don't really one-shot IFVs. This should smoke, really. Limbs are back in action, and you see that, you know, he's getting a lot of value out of these. They reload in basically a minute if they fire all their missiles, which usually they don't. Obviously, if they get hit, it's going to be more like 5 minutes. But, yeah, I mean, they're quite cheap. It's testament to the divs. Like, the Crotal one-shots this, so like one Crotal here, all your problems would have been solved. One T-Chap, all your problems would have been solved. But they went for manpads, and mounted manpads, and that's just not ideal. So, yeah, he's just brought the wrong plane, basically. The Stingers are not having a great time, though. Like, this only has 10% ECM. They do need healing now. Sorry, resupplying. And yeah, you could just put the CV next to them to buff them up, which is what he was doing before, but this is now in the forest. Presumably for its own good, because there is stuff flying around. The Cook V with its 2,800 meters range is very, very effective on this map. And you'd expect to see some Mephistos from 6E as well. But yeah, Red in the zone. And Blue has pushed up here, but he just can't get, because he can't get the forces past this kind of area. That has like a super long range, but very low accuracy. So what you do is you put it below a transport, supply, and you just shoot land, shoot land, shoot land. You could also keep it landed, and if it's facing the right way, do you see those arms there? There's one going this way, and there's one going this way. That's the amount it can actually shoot without having to turn. So if you land it there, it will shoot anybody in that area. The issue with having it landed is a tank gun can one-shot it, or an RT piece can kill it. But it has 3,000 meters range with 30 pen. Like, it's a plane missile, and it resupplies really quickly. So on these maps you can be cheeky with it, and if you see the shells coming in, you take off, you know, and you try and dodge it that way. So Icarus has managed to move up to Gregory, but I feel like Red's air control means that, like, if this all gets spotted, one helo here, they'll die, right? In the meantime, so Sneaky and Swadjealous Gunter, right, both everywhere, basically, whereas Blue is maintained a bit more like Sparty on the left, Icarus on the right. It's better for the micro, but, you know, if you don't react to threats, then you will lose to the team with the better coordination. CV tank spoken there. I mean, there is a CV tank. Not sure who's talking to who here. And yeah, Icarus with the mortar spam. Crotal went down there. I think the plane got it with the rockets. So that's the advantage of the rockets, right? So yeah, if you fire enough mortar rounds in this tiny little area, you will eventually get the CV. Or at least route it out the zone. Lim's going down there, and, you know, these should be pinged now, but Sparty is moving them after they shoot, which is very intelligent. You see Sneaky trying to use the rockets there. So there you go, Cluster coming in for the AA, and he does get one, but you'd expect him to die here. No, these have quite a long reload time on the... because they are just man pads. KSK are really good at close range. So you've got Special Forces and Satchels, and 5 SMGs, and 2 of the best machine gun in the game. And there you go, Red fully takes the zone. Bit of a... You know, so he's moving it here because he reckons I'm just going to get shot if I stay here by a bunch of arty. And it's not entirely wrong, but although Icarus has bought these and just never fired them, apparently. They've both got full HP. Full ammo even. But there you go, the mortars now shooting at this, and this is where you just buy an Acacia and just... I'm pretty sure automatic counter battery will shoot a mortar, I'm not entirely sure. Dragons will shoot in a deep forest against a vehicle, but they will not shoot in smoke against a vehicle because the minimum range is like 125 meters. MiG-29 flies over the Stingers. There's 6 of them now, so that went about the way you'd expect. So you see that wasn't actually in the smoke, that was just in the forest. But overall, you'd expect Red to be able to clean this out because Blue's got nothing behind this, right? His tanks aren't revealed because he's worried about the stuff shooting him. T-55s have cut the reinforcements. Red owns this town. So, yeah, it's just a matter of time, I think, until Red finds the CV. I mean, Icarus, he's doing a good job of hiding it. But there are plenty of helos here, and Red has air superiority, which it shouldn't do against Eagles, but... They bought more planes, their planes are more cost efficient. Especially the 6E planes are just woefully overpriced, it's kind of ridiculous. Here we go, so Copperhead rounds opening up finally, and he's going on the Strellas, he does get them, get one. And then he immediately cancels it, to see Herding go, rah! And you see, you know, the Motshutson they're cleaning up here, the T-55s. Heli's been sent around, the Ern sees the CV. Lim does a little bit there. The Ern might not be able to shoot, but these guys will just get it eventually. Yeah, T-55 can basically see it all the way in there. And then the CV, presumably, yes, is on its way. So Blue managing to stop the tick there, but I think, I mean, you know, Icarus has to do something, right? But I think maybe his efforts would have been better spent if his infantry went from here to here, and his tanks were shoring this up, he could push Red out of this area by, you know, taking this town, basically. But yeah, the AA from Blue is terrible. Like, they're just letting these planes fly around. Drone goes down there. Lim does go down, but, like, just Stingers? Like, where's the long-range stuff? But, I mean, the Stingers are killing... Like, the jets are just diving all the way down, which is, you know, not ideal. Guys dying in transports here, not ideal. This is 2,000 supply. You cannot afford to lose that. That's 1/3 of a supply card gone. Red neutralizes that back right zone, and Blue just can't sort out this top left zone. Like, they have the infantry. 6E infantry and 9th US infantry is actually better than 4th and Rugener. Because light rifles and legionnaires and stuff. I mean, Rugener does have some pretty nice infantry, like Marine Pioneer Flam that just died there to the quick scope. And yeah, like these aren't moving, these aren't moving, these aren't moving. So just a little bit of arty from Red. He's bought the coffin launchers, which are good close range stuff, particularly on this map. And it's actually something I noticed about Icarus's deck, which I didn't notice about Icarus's deck. He didn't bring his coffin launchers, which was a huge mistake on this map. That would have been a lot more useful than having this with an extra rank of veterancy, which he hasn't been firing anyway. At least not that much. So, the coffin launchers, for those of you who don't know, they look like coffins, and they launch. It's basically like a mine-clearing device, and they just use it against infantry. So the sniper gets spotted. Oh no, they're actually aiming for the FAV. And yeah, just like, the snipers are killing the transports because of the 50 cals, so... yeah, just Red not paying too much attention there, but... Over on this side, Swordjealous Gunters... Like, because this is generally a sneaky initiative. So on Joel Skunter's on the left here, and you do see that his infantry is getting taken out. Basically what blue needs to do is like stop him from getting over here and just bound, right? Do some bounding, but his tanks don't have the armor to bound, right? So he has to use the infantry covered by, you know, smoke, basically. There's definitely plenty of smoke around. That was not very smart. It was a bit aggressive there. Like, you know, there's loads of AA there from before. It did actually get the bombs off somehow. It kind of... Okay, I guess it was a good idea. I don't know if it was worth it, really. I mean, red will now own this zone for a bit, so that's nice. Blue, basically... And this doesn't have AT, okay. But yeah, these Legionnaires should clean this out, no problem. You see the power of the mega range. But the Crow Tower should kill that. In the meantime... You know, Sneaky's lost a lot of units. Sparty actually came around on the right here. And yeah, that's why you always bring the AA, because they will send the Helo to deal with these threats, and the AA should... I mean, this is only 40 points, so it was also in a bad spot, because it wasn't actually in cover. If he had it in the trees, it would have survived. This was actually on the road, so it wasn't in cover, so... Probably because he got it while it's moving. But yeah, I mean, you need to... I said 2, because they're only 35 points. This is the issue with the, this thing, right? Also, like, 3,000 meters range, he could have put it all the way back here and it would still shoot, I think, but... Yeah, red just not really invested in that arty. A bunch of guys dying here to bombers, and that's the main issue with doing an attack like this. You should have brought the Crow Towers, like, lots of AA. You can see some of it's coming now, because... Somebody's not been spending their points, blimey. It's like double buy, basically. They're both going hard on this side. So there's the Mephisto. That will one-shot this if it gets a shot. I think it'll break LOS there, yeah. Double coffin launcher, taking out those light rifles. Law, great idea, because I think from here they should be able to shoot across, or you can put it in here and shoot those guys. So that's a great idea to let Rugener win those. To be honest, Rugener does have good infantry. Sort of the whole point of it. Another plane flies over the 10 Gorillion Stingers. This is on the ground and the mortars are shooting at it. Oh my gosh, losing a helicopter to a mortar is... like, the mortars aren't very good at dealing HE, so... You had multiple hits there to take that out. T-72 getting hit by the Cook V. Doesn't have smoke, this one, so it's probably just dead, you know, because it can't... It was stunned up there. The Cook V fires 2 in quick succession. You see how fast the missiles are. And yeah, so blue, they're using their mobility, but they kind of fucked this one up. And red, they're just plowing on regardless. I don't know about red's AA situation, like not a single cub or anything back here, but they just won the air war. Like blue's Eagles, you know, if he kept him behind some AA, he should have been fine, because he's got the longest range. I suppose that 4th has a card of MiG-29s, but the Eagles should be slowly whittling away the enemy air force. Particularly, like, they one-shot the limbs. But blue, they just didn't invest in the AA, long-range AA. I'm not sure, I can't remember if Icarus actually has the T-Chap. In a 1v1, I think you can get away with not bringing it. In a team game, I think it's a good idea, because the maps are a lot bigger. Or at least in this specific team game, it would have been a good idea. But yeah, red, no Acacias, no Tube Arty, like, it'd be so useful, because a lot of these units just aren't moving. These Stingers have been here all game, he could have got all the Stingers. Oh, I heard a... Okay, it's an anti-tank gun. Okay. So yeah, this thing's woefully overpriced at the moment. Red's next round have shown up. But yeah, just, I mean, so there's 3 Tarasques now. But you need the anti-plane. I mean, I guess that's the Mirage, but it doesn't really count. You need a Crow Tower, because the Mirage is going to lose the fight against, you know, 3 or 4 enemy planes. Coffin launcher's about to... Okay, so he thinks there's somebody in there, but there's not. They're actually in the building behind. It's fair enough. I mean, you know, the supply cost isn't too heavy, and you might as well use them. But yeah, they would have come in handy here when this Marine Pioneer goes in on the... Like, this is 12 guys, so... The Flamethrower. Flamethrower is not fantastic, really, because it I mean, the aim time used to be 4 seconds, now it's 2, but the reload time's still 8 seconds, and the accuracy's 50%, so you miss, and then you just die. But if you got 12 strength, I guess it's, you know, maybe you don't die. And, yeah, Sparty's attack on the right here has been spotted, and, yeah, this is just going to unload, and then what happens, right? SVDs, like there's no tanks here, none of the wheeled tanks or anything, so they can't quickly burst these down. The Vab Legions are having a pretty good go of it, actually, but, you know, I probably should have unloaded these here, but, yeah, this needs to be careful from the 10 Gorillion Tarasques, none of which seem to be in a position to stop it. More Helos purchase, I think this is a mistake, really. The Mirage can't dive. I mean, I suppose it could, actually. It's just choosing not to. It would die. Okay, so that didn't get much. Yeah, it's just choosing to sit back. In the meantime, the coffin launchers have started firing right now, and they get a couple of Icarus's units. You'll notice Sneaky's very undefended here because he bought all these Helos and so on for this side. MiG-23 goes dangerously close to the Stingers, but you'll note that the double ATGM here from Sneaky with the the IFVs and the coffin launchers and the anti-tank gun means that Icarus can't really push here without using his coveted smoke to, smoke, he'd be fine, but he's not actually doing that, so moves forwards, gets a load of side shots, loses a bunch of guys. A couple T-55s go down on this side. Over here, Sparty's attack has just gone terribly. It's too close to the enemy spawn, and he didn't have, one or two Sublindes would have been good, but basically his first attack, there wasn't much here, and he kind of whiffed it. He didn't bring enough stuff. If he'd gone hard in all at once, he would have taken this, but in the intervening time between the first attack and the second attack, two players can just spawn a bunch of stuff and, really stop that. So, Stinger's now moving forwards, getting killed. These T-55s, I mean, this one should be a bit further forwards. He started smoking now, but it's kind of too late. Like, he lost a bunch of stuff. The rest is repairing. Conkers still gets a side shot on that M60 there. So, yeah, he needs to use these artillery guns to clear out these ATGM positions. I guess he did get the unspeakable one that was here. Or maybe it just moved, or he bought another one. Another side shot from this Conker is very much paid for himself here, Mr. Probst. Sparty, yeah, he's brought the Crotal now, and he's brought a mortar for smoke, but it's, it's too late, basically. He lost the element of surprise. Lots of side shots here happening on Icarus's stuff. He's getting flanked constantly. The AA isn't pushed up and what have you, so that's not going to go anywhere. Sparty having a bit more luck here. But the AA guns are out, and they will clean up this infantry. Although, actually, they're getting... I suppose if you got 4 guys shooting at you, you don't win. MiG-21 Bison bombers getting some kills there. Because, yeah, there's just no long-range AA. The Eagles, you should have 4 Eagles, but... especially at this point in the game, but it's not working out. Sparty continuing to sort of double down on this. Double drone out from Icarus. More infantry... yeah, so the tick stopped, but now it started again. The RT, is just sort of waiting for this guy to do this, and yeah, I think Swadjel's Gunter could do with, did that drop, or... Okay, no, so the Humvee is in here, red CV, not sure what happened to it. There was one here, must have sent it forwards and lost it over here somewhere. Coffin launchers are up, so they should be able to take these guys out. But yeah, I mean, you need to, get them out of the smoke, and, smoke, here, or something like that, and then you've got much more space to hide in. But yeah, it's always going to be a tough call if you don't own this part of the forest to sort, or, or this, or that. It's kind of hard to just sit in this corner, RT's going to get you. And indeed it does. So T-55's being sent in once again. Law might get a cheeky side shot there. But yeah, this is just sort of also just a matter of time. Just need red to buy another CV. It is coming in. The Aquila gets taken out by the MiG-23. And the other one dies on this side. Yeah, the arty's doing what, like, these haven't moved, and they're towed, and they're very expensive, and, you know, Red's making no attempt to... He's bought the mortars, but he's sold the transports. And he is doing some smoke, but this one's too close, so the smoke is, you know, it basically should be back here, and then the smoke could be much nicer. But yeah, you know, one Acacia, or even two Acacias at this point in the game, and you can get all these mortars which aren't moving. You can get these which aren't moving. You can get the stingers which have finally moved. So these clusters, he's using the high altitude one, and that is Schondra. Does actually do quite a bit there. Oh, that was a good bombing run. I got two there, so it's probably, well, just about not worth it, because I think the bomber's 145 and those two guys are like 120 put together, but you know, you get some stuff, and there you go. So you smoke just in front of where you want to hide it, right? Because then you've got as much area as possible. Yeah, in the meantime, blue is on a +2, but that is not going to be the case for long. And yeah, I think red's still in the stronger position. Like, nothing's happening here. Sparty has pushed Schondra out here, but like these pushes Icarus is making, like, so he takes this and then he pushes in, but he doesn't take the town, he doesn't take this zone, and so he just constantly gets hit in the side, and that will just carry on happening until he sorts this out. But they're not doing it. They need to take the town. Because if you take the town, it solves both problems. It solves this problem because this is a completely untenable position if blue owns the town. And it means you don't get side shot by the ATGMs, and then you take this, and then you're in the zone. But instead, they just constantly run down this road and get hit from every angle known to man. So it's poor coordination there from blue, because that would solve Sparty's issue as well. If it would solve Icarus's issue, and it would solve Sparty's issue. What am I, on a 20 pack a day or something? If they took the town. They just don't seem to understand that. You know, a lot of it is you just play the map more, you sort of get used to it. And a lot of it is like adapting in the moment. That's why I like tournaments with like custom maps that people have not had much chance to play. Or, you know, when new maps get added, it's always fun because it increases the strategy, basically, because you don't just do what you did the last 20 times you played on that map with that division, right? So you see who's got the kind of more dynamism, right? The more dynamic viewpoint. It's the same when, like, new games come out. Obviously, I'm sort of blowing my own horn a bit here because I tend to be the guy who figures things out super quickly, and then I get beaten over time by people who just put the time in and have tighter micros. So it's yeah, it does play to my advantages if we do things my way. Yeah, so what can I say? I mean, blue have taken more ground now, but this refusal to take the town is baffling to me. It's like the mid-town on Vertigo. It's really important, even though there's no zone there. There doesn't have to be, because of how much it helps you take. Because in 1v1, there's 4 zones here. I'm pretty sure. And you know, if you've got the town, you basically have punching access to all of them, right? It's a really nice central location. Makes it easier to defend your zones and attack the enemy ones. So it is very important, but. Neither... Well, I mean, red have taken advantage of it with the ATGMs. But blue just doesn't want to deal with it. So, 11 minutes left. You know, blue can still turn it around. They're big on taking this, but they're just not taking the town. I really do think that is the Achilles heel of their strategy. Like, Icarus's pushes here probably would have succeeded if he had... Well, inevitably, if he had this, they would have succeeded. Obviously, if you start trying to take this, the enemy tries to stop you, right? But I think that would just be a much better use of his time than just letting the enemy shoot you from every which way and trying to cover it with smoke. You know, imagine if he smoked this and took this. It'd be way more useful. Having said that, you know, Sparty has finally sorted out his zone here, mainly because Schondra keeps having to bail out Sneaky here against Icarus. F-16, yeah, gets evac. T-Chap finally purchased, so he did have them all this time, and he only just bought them. And he sold the... I think he sold the transport he was in, or... or died or something. Would have been so useful having these earlier, especially against those limbs. Icarus, oh, I think this is gonna die. Oh, no, the rocket misses. Where do I hide? Get in the smoke, mate. Get in the smoke, mate. He just drives back into him to give him another shot. Damn. Having said that, you know, Schondra does have the coffin launchers here. I'm not sure if they were the ones that were back here or if 2 more were purchased. And here we go. So Sparty now doing the smart thing, using his mobility. Although I don't think running right into this corner is a good idea. I think attacking from here across would be smarter, because you wouldn't get shot from all this, and you would have cover as soon as you got in. But yeah, look at that. He's got the P4 Milan around the sides. Very good. Using the 6E to its advantages. Everything in this div is motorized. I don't think it has a single tracked unit. Everything's wheeled. So really cool div. I just do think it needs a little bit of help. Like, it has no cheap supply cards, for example. I think it should have a cheap supply card, because it's kind of hard to reinforce your stuff if all your supply cards are expensive. Okay, so this gets it with the gun there. This one can't actually shoot planes. It does have 30% ECM, but you'd expect it to die here. I mean, come on, there's so much stuff here. Cubs finally purchased. Like, imagine if they just had 1 Krug out this whole game. I'll admit, Blue hasn't really been buying planes, but... Anyway, the CV's just in the unprotected corner here, and that's not ideal. The T-55s are having a field day. Red does need to buy a CV for this. Urns oh, the urns. So if this was just ground units, the Legion would kill them. And look, they did get something here. So actually trucks that are returning, so that's kind of a waste of ammo. But the urns go through the sky. Yeah. And so they will just kill this on their way past without him even noticing that this is happening. So CV being sent round is taking a sort of bit of a risky road there. HE2, gonna be a good one, never mind. I thought it would get the triple kill. Yeah, it gets hammered a bit on its way out. So yeah, Blue on that +2 now. If Sparty can hold it. Yeah, he used his mobility, right? He used his mobility. Like, even this, you can take such a wide arc and just come all the way around. Just put it there, right? And then you just, you know, shoot people as they come in. They send the healer, it dies. But yeah, Blue, little bit overextended here. I mean, it was a good idea. It's just now 2 players will buy reinforcements and they can send everybody out of here, back to here. So, yeah, I think Blue should have come in over here, because if the CV was in these buildings, those healers wouldn't have been able to just clean everybody up, right? But yeah, it's easier said than done. You got to take a much wider flank. Like, this isn't really helping you. You can send it round. Mirage gets the MiG-21 bis. But yeah, massive red influx here. These guys don't have AT, but the other guys do, so this will be one for the road. What? This will be a short-term solution. And then there you go. So same thing on the right, using the smoke. But yeah, Red just needs to buy a couple of cats. I mean, the fact that they're just letting the enemy sit there with mortars and smoke and then not doing anything about it is a big problem. Red should be doing something about that. But, you know, they are just killing the units on the ground by just sending the infantry into the smoke. Could use a spag here. The Shilka could get rotated round. It's right pickings there. These guys are all going to die, but they've done their job. And the next wave is coming. Welcome to the Redfall playstyle. So this guy's actually throwing his satchels at this, and it is very slowly killing it. It's on 1 HP. Coffin launcher should finish this off, really. Main question is, can he dodge it? He cannot. Oh, no, he manages it. Oh, but now he reverses in. Oh, he's changed his mind. No. Okay, if his indecision there cost him his life. So that'll stop the tick. More blue units coming in. One wonders what the KD is here. For I think Red have probably killed a lot more. Although they... Well, I don't know, actually. They don't seem to have that many more units. This 50 cal quickscope. Oh, he got stunned. He got stunned in the middle of his quickscope there. You'll notice he was Vet 3 from how many people he'd killed. Very powerful unit, those snipers, with the 50 cals. So, lots of AA now here for Blue. And, you know, yeah, 6E just not I mean, he's playing to his advantages, but he's not doing it enough. Like, this and this should be round here. You should just constantly be sending stuff through the forest. Like, what's this doing for you? All the way around. Get behind them, get to the sides of them. You're limited basically by your own imagination. So that the AMX-10RCs, they're not actually that fast off-road. 65 is fast, but it's not. It's like the same speed as an Abrams, basically. But it's 100 on-road. So there are roads. You can use the roads, right? All these little paths. Use the roads where you can. You know, there's actually a road going all the way around here. You just use the roads. Imagine if he came in from behind here with an AMX-10RC. You'd be able to kill all this stuff, right? This one specifically you could have used. So yeah, the div, it's really hard to play. And there's nothing stopping you from doing that with a regular division, going all the way around the sides there. But if you can play it well, the enemies really kind of can struggle to deal with it. It's just you got to have a lot of micro, got to have a lot of sort of game sense, and you got to make sure you just don't get put in these situations where you just face smacking the enemy. So, because then you will lose, because their tanks have more armor. So, yeah. Blue basically has air superiority now. That was a good bombing run. Got a couple T-55s there. Oh, this guy... Ooh, the Cubs. They're reloading. They're reloading, but he's sticking around so he can get shot. Looks like this is going to try and ground shoot the mortar there. And he gets it with the double guns. 3, 4 Strelas, 2 Cubs, and a Shilka. Was enough. As you might expect. This guy just hanging out, so he could also get shot by the Cubs, although they're still reloading, so... turns out this CV has a Strela, but it can't aim good enough. And there you go, so another corner CV from Sparty. You know, they're only 200 points behind. They could try and get a draw if they keep this up, but I think he just kind of... He came down this road instead of this road, right? And I think if he'd used this road, he'd be in the town. You know, and then he moved up through the town. But he chose the shortest route, and that put him in quite a poor position because of all this stuff in here. Looks like Icarus has ran out of stuff to throw at the enemy. He did finally take... Oh, it looks like Sparty did it, actually. Yeah, Sparty took the town. Icarus moving in the toe 2As here. And yeah, I just think it was Blue's strategy, generally. I think Red's was kind of better with the way they coordinated a bit better. They held the middle, you know, they sort of had that map knowledge down. Blue is more mobile. Ninth motorized, of course. Your infantry's all motorized, but then again, so is Reds, SPWs, and so on. Like, this is 4th motorized. But yeah, 6E especially, like, Sparty would be sort of the playmaker here. And, you know, this is a nice idea, but I really do think he should have come in through the town. Arty finally purchased here. We got a 130mm, 230mm. But yeah, they just needed to go, because, like, these weren't moving. They've got 1 top armor. If you use 2 howitzers on them, they tend to die. Cluster gets hit by these Cubs here. These guns, they have actually been firing. See, they're out of ammo there. About to run out of ammo there. They've got 1 round each. This is an interesting unit. So it's actually a transport, I think, for the Strelas. And it's got... it actually isn't as good against ground units, because as there was 1 SP... like 1 KPVT. I mean, it is if it gets into range, but it's just it has less range than 1 KPVT, which is a bit of an idiosyncrasy. Kind of glad ground-based AA guns do not have 1400 meters range against ground targets. But yeah, they're cool, right? They've got the AA capability. They're fast. They're fast on road, right? 100 on road. And I think that's going to be it. I mean, in 25 seconds, I don't see what Blue does. A surprisingly close game. I do think Red had better draft here, so it was a surprisingly close game. Yeah, I think Red did make some mistakes regarding not buying any RT, like no MLRS. I really think the 4th player should have brought the 3rd Carter supply and an RM70 in this situation. Or at least buy the 2 Acacias. This is just... What? Did it cancel it or something? No, it fired him. Oh! Oh, I see. The game's ended. It's just this new... sadly, we can't view the scores. Because, this new hotfix broke it. So, that's the end of the replay. I'm sorry I can't show you the KD and who killed what. I hope you enjoyed the game. Hopefully they fix this problem. Because that is a bit of a pain. And I'll see you around. GG.